So in this video we're going to talk about improvisational strategies, and I have co-hosting with me a good friend of mine, Stuart, and a student, and so he'll be probably asking questions occasionally. So with this topic of improvisational strategies, I'm going to use the tune Stella by Starlight to demonstrate these concepts that I'm going to talk about. So, alright, so the first step in improvising, like for instance with chords, what I like to do is break the guitar up into small parts, sections, and so when we're talking about chords, I might start with strings 1 through 4, okay, the high E, B, G, and D string, and break the guitar up in sections according to the very first chord in the tune. So in Stella by Starlight, the first chord in the tune is E minor 7 flat 5, and so on the guitar, I mean, we could start it here. Let's see, let me change sounds here. So actually I'll probably start right here. Got to give me some leeway to go either way, but so the idea is we want to do a limitation exercise to where we try to play the whole tune as close to this chord as possible. Like when we're going from chord to chord, we want to just stay in this general area on this set of strings, okay? Alright, so the first chord is E minor 7 flat 5, okay, and then it goes to A7 flat 9, and I usually use a substitution of E diminished 7th, okay, then it goes to C minor 7, and then F7, F minor 7, B flat 7, to E flat major 7, then to A flat 7, then B flat major 7, then E minor 7 flat 5 to E diminished 7th to D minor 7, and then B flat minor 7 to E flat 7, then to F major 7, then E minor 7 flat 5, E diminished 7 to A minor 7 flat 5 to A diminished 7th. And there again I'm using the substitution for the D7 flat 9. Let me just park right there and talk about why I'm using that substitution. Well, whenever you have a dominant 7 flat 9 chord, you can substitute the diminished 7th chord up a half step from that chord's root. In other words, so if we're talking about a D7 flat 9, if we go up a half step, that's D sharp or E flat, we can play say E flat diminished 7th. Now if you look at all the notes in that chord, one of the notes is A, alright, and so we could even think of it as A diminished 7th, and that's easier for me to think about. When we look at A minor 7 flat 5 going to D7 flat 9, that's a 2-5 in G harmonic minor. And so when I see that movement, minor 7 flat 5 going to a dominant 7 flat 9, I can think, for instance, A minor 7 flat 5 to A diminished 7th. It's really easy, to think that way. Anyway, and when you play the diminished 7th, you get all the chord tones except the root, but that's okay. The bass player can play the root. You get the flat 9, the 3rd, the 7th, the 5th, Anyway, so you got A minor 7 flat 5 to A diminished 7th. Alright, and then it goes to G7 sharp 5 for 2 measures, and then C minor 7 for 2 measures, then A flat 7 for 2 measures, then B flat major 7, okay, and then we have E minor 7 flat 5 to E diminished 7th, D minor 7 flat 5 to D diminished 7, C minor 7 flat 5 to C diminished 7th, and then to B flat major, B flat major 7. So as you noticed, you know, I'm staying right in that vicinity, playing the whole tune. By doing that, you are forced to use like better voice leading, like to where the notes are real close to each other, and it also makes you really think about you know, your chord voicings more, instead of going to maybe a more comfortable or maybe a chord that you know right away. Like you have to choose inversions of that chord to be able to grab them right underneath your hand, okay? And see, that's also going to lend itself into lead playing, okay, and playing the chord tones of the tune, you know, when you're soloing. So the idea is to break the guitar up into 4 parts based on the very first chord of the tune, and so in this case E minor 7 flat 5. So we got E minor 7 flat 5 here, this is the first inversion, then E minor 7 flat 5 here, second inversion, then third inversion right here, then the root form here, okay? So like the next step is to play the whole tune right in this area. You know, you can go a little bit here and go a little bit up there, but you generally want to stay right here, okay? And then do it again here, and then again here. And once you're done with that, you know, and you're fluent with it, then, you know, if you want to put on the tune and then just go from one position to the next and just kind of let your ear tell you, like, yeah, I want to grab a chord up here or go down here, and just become, you know, just improvise through all those different positions and trying to create a chord solo, as it were. Another thing you can do, you know, and I alluded to this earlier, is to arpeggiate the tune, or just use those drop 2 chord voicings as a platform to play your solo, okay, and do those limitation exercises. So what I want to do here is I'll put on the tune and demonstrate that here. Let's see.